Hi, this is Justin Schulte at Southeastern Community College, head coach here in Burlington, Iowa, and I'm here with Figured Out Baseball to talk about playing the scoreboard. Playing the scoreboard to me just means that the scoreboard dictates a lot of how you're going to play the game aggressively or non aggressively, or the decisions I make as a head coach, or the decisions our players make based on what the scoreboard's telling them. Some little things that we talk a lot about here. We're big on not giving away outs, being a really smart team. One of the first things we talk about is, if there's nothing on in our program, if there's no steal on or no hit and run on as from the third base coach, we should never get out. We should never get out. We should never get picked off of first. We shouldn't get picked off of first by the lefty with a great move. We're just being a little more conservative. We're not going to give outs away with nothing on. Obviously, we don't want to give outs away when there is something on, but you're going to be a little more aggressive based on a straight steal or hit and run or those type of things. But those are things that we talk a lot about here. Just understanding, up one, down one, up two, down two. Those mean something. You're going to play the game a little bit differently based on those type of things. Maybe in the batter's box, but more importantly on the bases, what your run means to that game. A couple scenarios. You're up a run in the top of the ninth, and it's a 3-2 game with two outs, and you got a 50-50 play at second base out of the box. My guy tries to stretch that single into a double and gets thrown out at second up a run. I'm not going to be near as upset as if that guy does the same thing down a run and we lose the baseball game there. So those are things that are talked a lot about here. Our guys have to have a really good understanding of what it means to play the scoreboard, what the count means, pitchers' tendencies at times through the course of what the knowledge we've gained through 4 or 5 innings, going into the last 2 or 3 or 4 innings of a baseball game. But as you're playing the game, as a coach, even on the bases, there's certain times you're not going to be near as aggressive, sending a guy home based on the run differential. And if you're 2 runs down in the ninth inning, and you got even a slight chance of getting thrown out at home, you can hold that runner and make sure the tying run stays on first base, and now you can play a little bit more. You got a little more pressure on your defense as well. So, but there's a lot of different areas that playing the scoreboard touches on. The defensive end is another great example of playing the scoreboard. Our guys understand we're not an aggressive bunting team, or we're not going to give outs away on bunts early in the game's first 5 or 6 innings of a game. But if the other team's willing to sacrifice bunt early in the game, we want to make sure we get the out every time, even if it's just at first base. Understanding shortening the game is a big concept of playing the scoreboard and taking outs when they're there. You're late in the game and you're up 2, and you got to make a slow roller, and there's a play at second base, but if 100% play at first base, we want that infielder to get that out at first base, get the sure out every time, continue to shorten the game. One thing we talk a lot about in our program is if you get a guy on second with 1 out, the opponent has to hit 500 to score a run. Nobody in our levels ever hit 500 as a team, so the percentages are still on your side. One of the next 2 hitters has to get a hit to score a run, and those percentages are still on your side. Whether they're 3 and 4 hitters, they're 8 and 9 hitters, those are things that we talk a lot about when we start throwing percentages at guys. And hey, this team's hitting 380 as a team. That's great. That's unbelievable. But they still got to hit 500 to score a run here with 1 out if they bunted that guy in a scoring position. So it's one of the reasons maybe the bunt isn't a popular thing in baseball right now, because those percentages aren't there on driving that run in they're not over 50%. So, but those are things that are emphasized here, and making sure our guys have a good knowledge of the game and understanding what outs mean and shortening the game means, and giving yourself a chance to, play the game one pitch at a time with guys on base and continue to try to get your pitchers to make pitches and hopefully you got a good enough defense to continue to make plays throughout the course of those 7 or 9 innings. This is Justin Schulte from Southeastern Community College. We just touched on playing the scoreboard. Please check out my next video about defensive philosophy.
Thanks for tuning in to Figured Out Baseball. If you're watching on the figuredoutbaseball.com website, I hope you check out the Figured Out Baseball store and grab yourself some gear to help support this totally free resource. If you're watching on YouTube, please remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you keep up with all the cool stuff that we do. For you podcast listeners, we've also got our podcast now available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. Figure It Out Baseball, the home of hundreds of free videos from dozens of college and professional coaches and specialists from great schools like this. So tell your friends about figuredoutbaseball.com, the world's #1 online coaching tool.